Well, hello everyone. It's Annette with ASCardDesign. Welcome back to my channel. It's Wednesday night. That means we make a card live. Tonight I'm going to make a really fun floating frame card, and I'm going to show you how to do it. We're going to be using Master Layouts 18 from Gina K Designs, and I'm going to also show you how to create this if you don't have the Master Layouts die. So let me go ahead, and I just want to welcome everyone coming in. We're just getting started. Oh, hi, it's great to see you again too, Janet. Thanks for joining. I hope you like this card. I'm going to be making a floating frame card. It's a pretty easy technique, but I did enjoy making a practice card. So let me go ahead and bring in my little acrylic tray, and I'm going to go down to the table camera. So this is just an acrylic tray. I kind of throw everything in that I'm going to be using for my lives, just to kind of keep everything contained. I try to get organized before I start, but then shortly after I start the live stream, it's just all, if you watch me, you know there's things on the floor. It's everywhere. So hi from Ontario. Hello, Ontario, Canada. Pamela, thank you for joining. I'm glad to have you here. And Andrea, it's good to see you again. And I love that you're all saying hello and welcome. So tonight we're doing the floating frame card, and I'm going to be using these stamp sets. Let me show you these first. They're not, well, this one I think came out, I don't even know. It wasn't that old. This was sometime last year, but I'm going to be using these cute little cone flowers. I'm going to use this stamp and this stamp from this set, and I think I'll use this sentiment. It says, "You're the best friend ever," and we'll do some heat embossing on that. And then from this stamp set, I'm going to use this butterfly. So we're going to kind of mix and match these, and we're going to do a little embossing folder onto vellum. And this is from Gina K as well, Petite Flourish. It's one of my favorite embossing folders. It's not 3D, it's one of the thin folders, but anyway, it's one of my favorites. It makes beautiful wedding card backgrounds. All the supplies I'm using will be listed in the description below, and links. They are affiliate links, no extra cost to you. It just takes you right to the product. I do get a small commission, but it's no extra charge to you. So we'll be using that embossing folder. And then this is Master Layouts 18. And from it, I'm going to be using this die, which cuts out a frame. And that's going to be the kind of the highlight of our card, or the, I don't know, the main event, if you want to say, but I'm going to do something really special to it. But I want to show you, if you don't have this die, let me just put that back in there for right now. If you don't have a frame die in your stash, you can use, if you have rectangular dies, let me get these out. You can just take your rectangle dies. Oh, Crafts and Design by Nima. Hi, Nima from South Florida. Welcome. So if you have rectangle nesting dies, you can just take any size, just start with one, whichever one you want, and then however wide you want your frame, then just go into that width. Let's just, for example, for this, and if you're not new to crafting, you already know this trick. But all you would do is you would take your two dies and position them. I don't have, let's see if I have a piece of paper. You just position them, kind of center them evenly, and then you would just tape them. And then once you run it through your die cutting machine, this piece would become your frame. So hopefully that makes sense. But you can make a frame using your nested dies. So we're not using those tonight, so I'm just gonna put those in my crafting filing, which is on the floor. You'll hear things hit the floor. And then we're going to decorate our frame a little bit differently. And let me see, yeah, I do. I was just kind of messing around with this the other day, and I cut out one of these frames, and I did both sides, just I was practicing. But I just swiped different colors of ink, and I don't know what colors I use. I was just playing around, like I said. And then while the ink was still wet, I just put some silver embossing powder and heat set that. It's kind of hard to see, but there you go. And then on the other side, I thought do it in like purples. Same thing. I just swiped some blue and purple and silver embossing ink or powder. And then I thought that that's what I was going to do tonight. But then I thought, well, wait a minute. I'm going to do something else. So we're going to decorate our frame with a bunch of scraps. So I just pulled scraps from my stash. This is DIY pattern paper that I made myself just with various stamps. These are just pattern papers. So I just kind of pulled some. This is some more DIY pattern paper I did a while ago, and then I cut out tags. So I just went into my pattern paper bin and pulled out some scraps that I thought might work tonight. So we're gonna use those later, but I just wanted to show you this is another way you can do this. So I think we're gonna start off with our stamping first. Well, you're welcome, Janet. Yeah, we can all use tips, right? I know I can. I know I sure can. So let's go ahead and bring in our Misty, and I have the Gina K grip mat in here. It's kind of just where I leave it. But I think I'm going to use, I'm just going to pull out her sticky mat. I think that's what this is called. And I'm just going to lay it right on top because I'm going to stamp and then pull it out, do some coloring, and then we're going to put it back in. Okay, so let's do our stamping first. First, let's go ahead and let's do the sentiment and get the heat embossing out of the way. So let's talk about this weather as we do here. In Ohio, I'm in central Ohio. We had a decent day today. Some sun came out, which is always good. And let's see, it was about 65. Not too bad, not too windy. We've been having a lot of wind lately. But we're going to get our storms back here tomorrow night. So all the weather alerts are happening. Okay. So I'm going to heat emboss the sentiment. And again, this one says you're the best friend ever. I kind of want to make this a friendship card. And if you know me, I'm really in love with these Wow embossing powders. This is I'm sorry, all my cameras have moved recently and I'm just trying to get used to all that. But this is the polished gold superfine powder and it melts beautifully. It's very smooth. And I do have, Wow actually was nice enough to give me a 10% off code and it's in the description. It's good for anything on their website. It doesn't have to be powders. So, and it doesn't expire. So if you ever, if you like their products and ever want to use them, just click on one of my descriptions, click on the link and just use, or I think if you just go to their website, if you just put Wow Annette in the checkout, it will give you the 10% off. So that's pretty cool. All right, let's move on. Oh, before I ink that, I want to do powder up the cardstock. So I'm just using a piece of Gina K Designs, the white cardstock, and I'm going to powder it up with Simon Says Stamp anti-static powder. I'm just going to do this top section because that's the only thing that's going to be getting heat embossed. And now we can ink up our stamp. Oh my goodness. Stay organized in it. All right. So I'm just going to lightly tap the stamp. This is a very small, delicate stamp, and I don't want the ink to go into the, down into the letters. I just kind of want it to rest on top. So I just want to make sure I get that. And I'm just going to give it a light press. Lots of rain, and not unusual for March. Yeah. Spring rain, right? Everything's growing, and I planted a dogwood tree about, I don't know, 3 years ago. It was just a stick. I got it at a conservatory. It was for Arbor Day, and they were passing out these, it looked like a twig. Honestly, I don't know, let's see if you can see me. It was about 8 inches tall, and it was just a stick. There was no branches. So I planted it, and that thing is about 4 feet tall right now. Full of leaves. It was full of leaves last fall, and I really feel like it's gonna bloom. It's gonna have dogwoods pretty soon for me. I hope so. Okay. everything, all this white paper. I'm looking for my piece of copy paper. I couldn't find it, but here it is. And I know my camera's probably going to want to go out of focus. So let's go ahead and put the powder onto that sentiment. You'll see it appear here in a minute. And then we'll just dump the powder off. And I think that looks okay. We're going to heat set it, but it did a pretty good job. Not too messy. So let's go ahead and put this away first. I like to get my powder out of the way before I get the heat tool out. Oh, hi Carol. Oh, better late than never, right? Almost missed the live. Well, you know what? Sometimes that happens, but there's always the replay, right? Always the replay. There's so many people I love to watch, the crafters that I really enjoy watching, and sometimes I do catch them live, and I enjoy that, but a lot of times I have to catch the replay. And last night, again, I was watching Gina Kay, her release party, and I always fall asleep. I don't know. It's just that after a long day of work, it's just, I don't know if it's her soothing voice or what, but I just fell asleep about halfway through, so I had to watch the replay today. All right, I'm just putting my stamp away, and I'm going to go ahead and heat up my heat tool for a few seconds. It might be a little bit loud, but I'm just putting it underneath the table so it muffles out a little bit of it. I'm so glad you're all here tonight. It's so nice to have you. I consider, obviously I'm still a small channel, but when I first got brave enough to do a live, I think my brother was on and that was it. And then my second live, there were maybe 2 people, but it's kind of nice to just see a community grow. You know, I recognize a lot of your names coming back, and I really appreciate that. Okay, let's go ahead and melt this powder, see if you'll be able to see it on camera here. I don't know. Something is happening. This is not melting at all. I'm sorry I'm not talking. I'm just like perplexed. Oh, here we go. Okay, I had to pull it off camera to see. You're not going to be able to see it melt. That did not come out very good. I'm going to do it again. Let me see if you can see. Well, it's not terrible, but let's see. I think I'm going to use it. Once I die cut it, I think it'll be fine. Okay, let's just leave it. Where is my little towel? I don't know. Should I do? I think I am going to do it over. It won't take long. I just don't. It just didn't come out great. Why not? It will only take a second. So let's just put that in there again. Let's just pop that in. It doesn't even need to be straight because we're going to die cut it. Where's my powder? Let's do this again. All right, practice. My friend Lisa Hetrick. Practice makes better. That's her saying, and I love it. And if you like watercoloring, and if you haven't checked out her YouTube channel, check that out. Craft Your Joy, Lisa Hetrick. She's a wonderful teacher. Let me just do that lightly again. Maybe that was the problem. I did it too much. Okay. Have any of you made a floating frame, or is this something new to you guys? I thought it's kind of pretty on the card. All right, let me just get that little bit more powder on there. Okay. Back in you go. My goodness, how long? We're like 16 minutes into this video and I'm still doing the heat embossing. That's okay. All right, I'm going to heat it from the top and see. Yeah, that's set up much better. Sorry, I'm off camera, but I just had to look at it off camera. Yeah, that bottom one is a little more crisp. So, okay. Now, I'm going to take this stamp off, put that away, and then we'll bring out our other stamps. And I'm going to show you another trick that I like to do. You know what, I'm thinking, oh no, I'll leave that in there. We'll do all of our die cutting at once. But right now, I want to take all of my stamps out. So we're going to take this little cone flower. I love these cone flowers. I have cone flowers in my garden, in my backyard, in my front yard. Pamela, I do have a Facebook page. It's ASCardDesign. And I also have an Instagram, ASCardDesign. So what I do is I do all my videos on YouTube, and then I will like share like new video. I'll share on my Facebook and my Instagram that there's a new video or pictures. You know, I share the stuff on the other social medias, but all the videos live here on YouTube. What is the powder you spread on the paper before you stamped the sentiment? So I use, I have a couple different ones, but this is the Simon Says Stamp anti-static powder tool, and there's powder of some sort in here, but you can also use, hold on, let me see here if I have it. I have to keep it in a bag because it's messy. It's a little bit messier. This is what I used for a long time, but then I switched to this only because it was a little neater. But this is a little cloth bag that has anti-static powder in it. But, you know, you get it on your hands. As you can see, it's a little messier, but, you know, I use that for about a year. I think I've heard people say you can use cornstarch. You just want some kind of, you want to really dry the surface because there's oils on your fingers, and the powder will stick to it. So you just kind of want to lay it down so the powder only sticks to where the ink is. But if you do get flecks of powder that stick where you don't want it, you can just take a dry brush. And like how I had that, because it usually happens to be so. I have it right at my side at all times. But you can just take a small brush and just dry it, you know, just brush it away before you heat set it. Okay, so we're using these stamps. So I need this, that, and then from the other stamp set. So this was called Thankful and Blessed. And from this stamp set, Ornate Birds. Let me take this out so you can see. I use this one quite a bit. And when I got it, I did get the coordinating dies. It is a little bit of an investment, but I want to just say, when I get a stamp set that I really, really like, I mean, I don't order every little stamp set, but the ones that speak to me and that I'd like to have, this was one of them. I'll get it, and I also will get the coordinating die, because more often than not, I want to pop up the bird or pop up the greeting. And these dies are nice and thick, and they're made of steel, and they're not real thin and flimsy like some dies are. So it is a little bit of investment, but it's money well spent, in my opinion, if you're going to be, you know, crafting regularly. I don't do this for a living. I have a day job, but I feel like I craft enough that I want to have good tools. Okay, so there's enough of that. I want to use this butterfly, and I think that's all we're using from this set. So the trick I like to do when I'm going to be coloring, see, I need to leave that kind of handy dandy, is we'll just I'm going to be die cutting all these out, so I'm just kind of leaving some space. And I'll pick them up. I just like to press them to make sure they're down, but I'm going to stamp them in a light color. So this is dye ink because I'm just using water-based markers, which I don't know. I have good luck. It doesn't really bleed, but I kind of like to go in with a light color first. And this is Sandy Beach. It's just the one that I picked, but any light color will do. All you want to see is you just kind of want to see the image well enough that you can color it. Okay, so we'll just get that down and we'll go ahead and stamp it. And hi Renee, I don't really do coloring very well, but this technique I can do, and I'm happy to show it to you. Carol, I made the card you demonstrated last week using Gina K floral stencil. Oh yeah, inking it in all yellow like blue leaves. Oh, wonderful. I'm so glad. Thanks for sharing that. I'm touches me that I inspired somebody. It just amazes me that anybody would even watch these, but I don't know. I mean, I watch a lot of people too, and I am very inspired by others. So, okay. So what I like about this sticky mat is I'm going to take this out because I'll be able to pop it right back in the same spot because we're going to stamp it again. So I'm leaving these stamps right where they are, and then we're going to do some coloring. So very basic coloring. I am going to take, let's start with this butterfly. I'm just going to take this whatever orange color I picked up. Let's see, I'm going to go with this little fine tip. And I'm just going to go around. I hope my head's not in the way. Yep. Let's zoom in so I can lean in and not get my head in the way. So I'm just going to kind of go around loosely. Hang on, I have a pop-up on my screen. Okay. I can't figure out how to get rid of that thing. And I'm just going to, can you see? I'm just adding color because we're going to stamp over this in black, and I'm just kind of adding it wherever. I'm not even being precise. And then we're just going to re-stamp everything in black, and you'll see it'll come out nice and crisp. Okay. And then for the cone flower, I'm going to do this one in this same color. And I just find like the easiest way for me to color these is just outline it and then do a couple little stripes in the middle. And I'm not even making a solid, like I don't want to make it solid. Let me pull it up to the camera. See the little white stripes? I'm doing that on purpose because I like that variation. I just like it. But if you like it solid, you do solid. All right, and now, where is I wanted to do lavender. Hang on. I don't have my lavender, or do I? Is this it? Boy, that looks awfully pink. Let me test it. Nope, that's good. That's not too dark. I thought this was going to be it looks darker. I'm going to make these other ones all this color because the cone flowers in my yard are this kind of shade of pink. And they're so pretty. I also have Black-Eyed Susans, which are yellow with like a really deep brown, little deep brown centers. Renee, I like to watch people who don't have 300 plus watching so you can chat with them. Yes, I know. I really enjoy chatting, and I just have to get in the habit of keep looking up at the chat to see what you guys are saying. I get so caught up in what I'm doing. I wish I had somebody here to, say, hey, look up there, but I don't. Yeah, some of the chats, a lot of the people I watch, man, their chats are flying, and I just, oy. But that happens, that's okay. I'm there for the technique. Okay, so let's take my brown. I'm just taking a brown. I'm just going to dot it. I'm not even coloring this in. I'm just going to kind of do like speckles. And we'll see how the black fills it in. And then if I need to come back in and do more, I will. I feel like I used other markers, but I know I had these out, so I had to have used these. I don't know what the blue is for. Oh, I know what the blue is for. We're going to do the leaves next. So I'm taking a green, and again, these are Tombow water-based markers. And I have a bin of them, and I just pulled out some colors. So again, going in with the green, outlining the leaf. This is my simple way of coloring. But after I stamp it again, it'll really, really pop. And then, once I get this green laid down, I'm going to go back in with this blue color right there. And I'm going to go over parts of the leaves just to give it a little, like another color. We'll see. We'll see what happens. But I'm just going to kind of go in, and it gives it like a, let me pull it up to the camera. Can you see the difference? That one I added a little bit of blue, and this one I did not. Oh yeah, Lisa. Yes. Lisa's channel, gorgeous work. Yeah. Lisa Hetrick. She's one of the artists that creates stamps for Gina K, and I've seen her on release nights, you know, for the last couple years that I've been kind of watching, and I don't know why I just never went onto her YouTube channel, but I did recently, and I did a watercolor along with her during my lunch break. Took my lunch break and hopped on her live as it was happening, and man, it was a lot of fun. And I honestly, my watercolors sat in my cabinet for 2 years, untouched, until I watched her video, and I just was amazed that she's just a good teacher, and it really helped me to gain a little more confidence. Okay. And then I actually, I did it again last week. Was it last? Yeah, last week's live. Oh my goodness. Last week's live, I did a watercolor live for the first time ever. And I was so scared. I was so scared. But I did it. And it came out. But you know, you have to just suppress the fear. It's just, if you make a mistake, so what? You just got to do it. Okay, so I'm going in now with black onyx, okay? So I'm going to just stamp, I'm going to make sure this is tucked in that corner, right where it was. And then I'm just going to ink these up. I have my mouse here, and I got to be very careful not to bump and stop the live stream. Okay, I got it out of the way now. And then I'm just going to stamp right over these. And that's how I do my coloring. Lisa and her leafery, yeah. She loves her leafery, and I love that. She always includes her leafery in her stamps, which it's good. You know, they're good fillers. But I could stamp it again with the black, but I think once is enough. Once is enough. Okay. So I have this little metal tray, and I usually put my dies in there, but I'm going to put my stamps in it for right now because I'll just put those away later. That way I don't take time right now. So that is a nice little handy tool. And then we're going to do some die cutting. So we'll just take this off of our mat. If you just bend it, it'll come right off. And then, let's see, I need I'm going to need my dies, so I need my little butterfly die. My goodness, where is it? Is it in front of my face and I don't see it, or did I... Maybe it fell in the packaging. Oh, goodness. I might have to fussy cut it. Oh, wait, I got some dies here on the bottom. Hold on. Here it is. Thank goodness. I did not want to have to fussy cut a butterfly tonight. So we got the butterfly. Let's put these in here. And we'll put the stamps in there just so everything stays together. Then we have to get our cone flowers. Now this will be easy because there's that one, and then there's, these are in one group. That's easy peasy. And then we'll do our, once we get the die cutting machine out, we'll do our embossing folder, and then we're also going to cut one of those out. Okay, and again, that's from Master Layouts 18. Okay, so let me make some room, and let's go ahead and get these dies taped down. Again, I'm going to zoom in, just helps me keep my head out of the way. And then we're going to just tape these down. I'm going to pull this down just a little bit. Okay, and I'm just using mint tape. You can use any kind of low-tack tape to tape your dies down so they don't move. Oh, Renee, you like fussy cutting? Oh, I do it if I only absolutely have to, but I don't have dies for everything, obviously, but I will fussy cut. I do have some nice small sharp scissors that are good for that, so it is doable, but I just don't want to have to do it live because, you know, who wants to watch me do that? I don't know. I don't want to watch me do that. Okay. I think, let me pull this down a little bit so I can see. Okay. All right. Wait, I'm just getting another piece of tape off of my die cutting machine. All right, and I'm gonna, again, I need to pull this down just for a second, guys. Hang on while I line up the stems. I guess, you know, you could die cut these and make it like a template. You know, just die cut it out of white paper, make the template, and then pop your stamp on top and do it that way. But I didn't do it that way today. Okay, let's bring in the Intercut die cutting machine. You can use any die cutting and embossing machine that you have. Whoops. I gotta come in a little bit tighter so you don't see the mess on my floor. No, not a fan at all. Not a fan of fussy cutting. I have to admit, when I first started making cards a couple years ago, I didn't even know what that meant. Like, I heard somebody say fussy cutting, and I'm like, what? I don't know what that is. And then I think I was watching Simon Hurley, one of his videos, and he said he was going to be fussy cutting, and I'm like, oh, that's what that is. All right. So oftentimes when I'm die cutting images, I will take another piece of cardstock and die cut blanks, but I'm not going to do that tonight. Actually, I lied. I'm going to do it for these because I want those to be a little heavier than these two. All right, so let me just go ahead and, again, metal dish comes in handy. That way I have a trash can right next to me, and sometimes things end up there by mistake. And then I'm looking for my dies, especially the little ones that are hard to find in the trash. And then let me go ahead and get another piece of paper. And, whoops, let me pop out the little pieces. Whoops, hang on a second. Where's my pick tool? There's these little pieces right here that need to come out. Oh. There's quite a few pieces. Well, there we go. Okay. And then I'm just going to cut this out again, and we'll glue those two together. You only found out recently. Yeah, I mean, you know, when I was new to this, I didn't know. I didn't even know about heat embossing. Now, come on, that really sparked my interest. So there, I'll glue those together in a minute, and then we have our butterfly and our other cone flower, and then we'll just pop that in there. And then we need to cut out our greeting. Oh, I do need that stamp set out again. Hold on. I forgot to get the die for that, which I think is this one right here, this long skinny one. Oh, do any of you have tips for these tape strips to keep them from sticking to your plastic pockets? It seems like I fight with those all the time. Your sister, yeah, Renee, I know heat embossing, it got me too. It really did. I just think it's cool. All right, it's kind of hard to see this one because it's so little. I got to pull it down here. But I'm telling you, these wow powders though, when I started using them, oh my goodness, they really melt smoothly. I take them off and put them on magnets. Yep, I should do that. I have some on magnets, but lately I've been lazy and I have not been doing that. But I need to get some magnets or order some. Or I know they have them at my craft store. I did not do a very good job die cutting that, as you can see. Got a lot of white on the top, but it's okay. I'm going to use it. It's not the end of the world. I'm not going to waste it. I am going to cut another piece though. I got some magnetic sheets at Michael's, I believe, last year, but boy, were they thin. Oh my, they're really, like, the dies don't even really stick to them. Or I'm not having luck with them, but maybe I need to put them on like a piece of cardboard, maybe? I don't know. Do I have everything die cut? Oh no, oh goodness no. We need to die cut one of these. We need another piece of paper. I already die cut 3 of them because I didn't feel like I needed to sit and do this 4 times, but I have 3 of them already die cut, and we're going to glue all of them together to give it some dimension. So let's go ahead and die cut this frame, and then we'll emboss our vellum. And then we should be done with all of this. So magnetic sheets on Amazon, 8.5 by 11, and cut them. Oh, that's good. Okay, there you go. Honestly, what can't you find on Amazon? Is there anything? And then this little piece falls out on this master layout, and it's stitched, so you can save it, use it for another project. But I'm going to just poke these little pinholes on each corner to release my frame, and then carefully pull it out. And there is our stitched frame. All right, now we're done with that. I can put that on the floor. It's big enough. I'm not going to lose it. And now we just need to emboss our vellum. So for that, we just need, I believe, this plate. Let me grab my piece of vellum. This vellum is already pre-cut 3 1/4 inches by 4 1/2. Okay, so 3 1/4 by 4 1/2, because that's going to fit just outside of our frame, so we can glue it. Okay. And then I'm just going to go ahead and, it really doesn't matter which side is which because we can just flip it over since it's not a pattern. But I'm just going to put that in there, and I think I have, I don't know. The tension. Okay, now I'm going to have to play around with this tension here. Hang on. I don't remember what the setting is. I think. Nope, that's not it. Oh, guys, really? We're not really supposed to use the other plate for this, but maybe I do. No, there's just not enough pressure. That's as tight as it will go. That's too tight. Let me see if I could just put it through. That's too loose. Okay, bear with me. If I was using my Big Shot, I would just be adding shims, removing shims. I think that's going to be good. If you can't find it on Amazon, it doesn't exist. That's funny. All right, so I got it to go through. Let's see. A little bit of cracking, but it won't matter. But isn't that pretty? I love embossing vellum. When you emboss it, the raised areas become white. Isn't that pretty? So this Petite Flourish embossing folder, you can see how beautiful that would be on a wedding card. Use your silicone mat instead of extra plate. Yeah, I should have done that. And my silicone mat is across the room in a drawer. So would you use the platform and the silicone mat on top of that? Is that what you're saying, Renee? I think that would have worked much better. All right, I think we are done with all of this. So let's go ahead and get that out of the way. And then let's go ahead and bring in all of these extra frames I did. And we're going to do some gluing. So, you know what? Let's go ahead and glue these three so they can sit. And then we're going to bring in the scraps, and I'm going to show you something very cool on this frame. Instead of using the second plate, the silicone mat we'll squish. Oh, yep, that makes perfect sense. See? I'm still learning. I hope I learn something every day, and I just did. All right, so I'm using Gina K's liquid glue, but you can use tape. You can use tape runner. Or I just like the glue because I can move things around a little bit and get everything lined up. Okay, and just walk all the way around. Careful not to get a paper cut. And then we'll go ahead and this next part is a lot of fun. I had a lot of fun with this, with the paper scraps. I'm gonna get these glued and then we'll do that next. Actually, while I'm gluing, before we pull out the paper scraps, let's go ahead and just glue these two pieces together and then our greeting, okay? Because this won't take us long, and that way it can all set. Oh my, I need to hold on to something here. Okay. I gotta stop wearing sweatshirts when I go live because now I'm starting to get warm with the lights. It's not winter anymore. All right, and then I'm just gonna put that on top. Oops, I forgot to, hang on, I forgot to poke that little piece out. There we go. Then we can line them up. It kind of helps if you start off with lining them up as close as you can. There we go. They all just really just kind of lines up. Isn't that sweet? You can add Wink of Stella if you want it on the petals or the leaves to make them shiny, but I don't think I'm going to do that today. And let me make sure I have that lined up correctly. I wanted to get these two glued because they're starting to curl. That way it's there. You're the best friend ever. And you can see that gold embossing powder is just super, super smooth. Okay, we'll wait for that. Now let's bring in some scraps. This is really, really fun. I'm going to bring in all my scraps that I have because I'm not sure which I'm going to use. And then I'm going to bring in this little silicone mat. I just got it at the dollar store, but I use it all the time. I got my glue, and then I'm going to need scissors because we're going to cut off the extras. So what I basically did was I just took pieces of scrap and I cut them, and I just started gluing. And you can glue as, you know, however you want it. I'm just going to go ahead and, let's see, I'm going to move up and zoom in so you can see. I'm just going to add some glue. Just go a little ways, and I'm going to just add, oh, let's go this way. And all I'm really doing is lining up the bottom edge and the inside edge. Okay, whoops. And then I'm going to move on. And now I think I'm going to use this fun piece. And they don't all have to be the same width. This just happens to be kind of the same, but they don't all have to be the same. But it helps if you have a straight edge. Now, if you feel better using a paper cutter to get a straight edge, you can do that. But these pieces, I selected pieces that already have a straight edge on them. So now I want something very colorful. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to go a little bit thinner. And then you just do that all the way around. Isn't that cool? What do you guys think? And then I'm going to add, let's do, let's see, how about this stripe somehow? Let's find the straightest edge. Maybe go, I'm going to go this way. I'm going to cut this edge straight. Because I'm going to take it all the way to the top there. Okay, and since I have a stripe there, let's go that way. I mean, this is going to be really, really bizarre. But once you trim it, it really looks cool. Okay. All right. So we'll trim it off the back, but I want to do this side. Well, let's see. Which side do I want to do? Let's go ahead and let's go along the bottom. And you know what this reminds me of? Remember back, I don't know, I'm going to show my age. Remember back in the 70s, maybe, early 80s, Holly Hobby or Patchwork, wasn't there like a Patchwork Kids or something? I don't know. But I just remember Holly Hobby was like a thing. Okay, so let's go this way. I think that would be kind of cool. So I'm just gonna cut it a little bit longer than I need, and we don't need all of that. But here's my flat edge, and we got our glue, and I'm just going to paper piece it right there. Okay. And now let's go ahead and trim this side so you can kind of see. So I'm just going to go carefully right along the edge of that frame. See, this doesn't scare me. Like last week's live watercoloring, that was scary. This is not scary to me. And then we'll go ahead and cut this, and then you'll see how it comes together. And then we'll just do the other side, the other two sides. We could even use that That was double-sided pattern paper, but isn't that cool? Ugh, I just thought this was so neat. You know, you could even use these pieces. I like this little harlequin. I'm going to put that right there. Got here late. What did I miss? So HTML Fox right there that's joining us. That's my brother Mike. If any of you were able to watch him, he made a card to celebrate our 1,000 subscribers. So you can check that video out too. On the replay. That was fun. He made a really cool card with a really cool surprise on the inside. So Mike, we are making a floating frame card, and right now I'm decorating a frame that I cut out with some scrap paper. And let's see, I think we can use some of this pattern paper again. Actually, we don't have this pattern. Let's cut this into it and see what that looks like. And then we'll just find the straight edge, which, you know what, hang on. I am gonna bring my little Tim Holtz guillotine, the baby guillotine, and I'm just going to make sure I have a straight edge there. And then we'll go ahead and put that in there. I feel like I'm tiling. You are double stacking your die cuts. Interesting. Yes, I'm gonna, so I had already cut out 3 frames, and these are all glued together already. So there's 3 of these, and then this is gonna get glued on top. So it'll be 4 layers thick. And then I'm gonna add something else to make it look even more elevated. But, oh, let's do some more polka dots. Definitely. Actually, we can just go all the way. Let's go all the way up with the polka dots. All the way up. Okay. And then I'm going to flip, whoops, I'm going to flip it around. And then I think I'd like this, I really like this bluish color here. But I think, do we want to do that? That's going to be too small for me to cut. No way. There's no way. I think what I'll do is I'll use a piece of this. I'm going to use a piece of that right here, and then we'll finish it with this this kind of purpley blue color. Hopefully I can get a piece just to fit in there. So I'm gonna, let me get a pen and mark this right about like that. And then I'm gonna cut it. I mean, it doesn't have, nothing has to be precise here, but it just has to be close enough. Let's see. Will it fit? I think it will. I'm gonna make it work. Okay. Good. All right, now got to give this side a haircut. Let me just burnish that in real well, because I'm going to cut this side first, just because it'll be a little easier. Okay. When is your next card? 2,000 subscribers? No, the next, so we'll do another special at 5,000 subscribers. So be sure, if you're not subscribed, if you're watching now or the replay, make sure you hit the subscribe button, because when we hit 5,000, my other brother, Jim, is going to make a card. And I'll give you a little clue. He's a fisherman, and he has, we have a really fun card that he's going to make. So yeah, be sure you subscribe. That'll be a lot of fun. So I don't know when we'll hit 5,000, but whenever that does happen, he'll do a video. So Yeah, that'll be 2000's coming up soon. Yeah, it really is. So, but you know, I just enjoy making these videos. So here is our frame. Isn't that cool? That's just another way to decorate. You know, you can ink blend like I showed you at the earlier this sample, you know, just swiping some ink and doing some embossing, and that looks nice too, you know, or add color. But I thought I wanted to use, I have a lot of scraps and I thought it'd be fun to just kind of use them. So right now I'm just going to flip it and just add some glue. And now this is going to go on top of these 3 layers. So we have 4 layers to this frame right now. Okay. Now we can take our other piece that we embossed, our vellum, and I'm going to flip it. And remember, I cut it, what did I cut it? 3 1/4 by 4 1/2. And I want the raised side to be on the, you know, on the top of the frame. So I'm going to flip it over, but I'm going to add my glue. And then we will drop it down. And we don't have to worry about glue showing through. Boy, did I miss this? I gotta get some glue in here. We don't have to worry about glue showing through the vellum because the frame will hide it. Okay, let me see my comments here while this is setting. I'm loving this. Can't wait to make this card. Oh, good. Carol, I hope you do. If you have social media and if you make this card and you post it, tag me. Just tag at ASCardDesign and I'll see it. I would love to see you guys recreate this. And I'm like Gina K. You can copy it exactly. Well, it won't be exact because you don't have the same scrap paper, but any card that you see me make on any of my videos, if you copy it exactly, I don't care. It's fine. That's fine with me. But if it inspires you to create it in your own way, that's good. That's good too. It all works. Okay, so let's go ahead and do one more thing to this, and then we're gonna work on getting this card put together. So I have some dimensional foam tape, and honestly, I don't know what the loft is, but you know, it's like that. And I'm just going to carefully go along from the top to the bottom here, just on that outside of that frame. Okay, and then I'm going to get my little scissors. And then I'm going to, let's go from this side. I just like to have a clean line. I'm just going to go from this side to the inside corner here. And this will give it a little more loft. This will help create that floating effect. And then we'll go from end to end again. Okay. And then we'll go, I kind of went a little bit over and I'm going to trim it because I don't want that. I don't want that like that because this piece then will fit right there to that end. Okay. And now that's just going to sit for a minute. And then I'm going to cut this piece of paper down to 4 by 5 1/4. So I'm going to have to pan out again, and we're going to bring the big guillotine. So this will be our mat layer. So this is going to be 4 by 5 1/4. If you have Gina K's master layouts, you can use master layouts 1 or 2 for your mat layer. And then I'm going to go ahead and position this. Let me get some of the scraps out of the way. Right onto there. So let me go ahead and use a little bit of my tape runner and just get that stuck to the surface so it doesn't move. And then we'll go ahead and take the backers off of this. And then we have our little elements we're going to decorate with, and they're here waiting. Just going to get all this backing off. It's kind of sticky. And I am going to put liquid glue on here just so I can move it around if I need to, because this adhesive tape, this foam tape, is very sticky. Once it's stuck, you're pretty much stuck there. Okay, so that's not moving, and kind of like it like that. So let's just say that looks good. Okay, then we can take that off. That doesn't matter if it stays there. And that's kind of what we have so far. And then this is going to go onto a US A2 side folding card, like that. But I was going to pull in a colored base. You know, you can pull any of these colors in, and that would be fun. So yeah, it's interesting, isn't it? Okay, and then all we have to do is our decorating. And I'm going to put my little flowers down here, and I may even tuck the stems in, and I think I kind of like that. And that way the flowers, we don't need that base yet. The flowers are going to be popping out a little bit, and I really like that. So I think we'll just put glue on these two leaves and the bottoms of the stems. So let's do that. These two leaves, the bottoms of the stems. A little bit more on this one. And the nice thing about the vellum, the way it is none of the glue will show. All right, so I'm just going to tuck those in like I had them. Let's just see what that looks like. And I think I'm going to add a little bit of glue here. Did I miss it? Oh, I missed it totally. Let me flip it upside down. I'm going to add a little bit of glue on that leaf and on this leaf. Okay, and then we'll just, that way they'll stay put. And then we're going to add our other cone flower and our butterfly. And I thought it would be really cute to attach them. And I've never really done that before, but I want them to kind of be like that. So I'm going to put a little bit of glue on the back of this wing and attach it. Maybe kind of like that. I'm going to do this off. I kind of want him on an angle like that. Hi Beth, how are you? Welcome. Thank you. Yeah, this is a very interesting card. It's like Holly Hobby patchwork. I think somebody did mention earlier in the chat that yes, it's very Holly Hobby-ish. I saw that comment. Then I got involved in, I think, paper piecing. So I'm going to put a little bit of glue here and then up on this wing. I'm just kind of seeing where it's going to land. And I want it onto the vellum a little bit and into the corner. So you can see how those pieces are kind of floating. They're just floating. And the frame has some dimension there. I really like that. Okay. Let's put this on the card base before we do the greeting. So let's go ahead and add our glue. And then we'll go ahead and put that down. And then there's one other little thing after the greeting I'm going to do just to finish this card off. I'm not going to use gems or little pearl like embellishments or anything like that. I am going to embellish it, but I'm going to use some liquid pearls. I haven't used those in a long time. And I'm going to put my greeting right there. You could put it down here, but I think I like it on the stems. So I'm going to just put a dot of glue here, here, and here, and just line it up. So just kind of like that. It's kind of a busy card, but I really like the vellum in the center. Okay, liquid pearls. These are fun. When they dry, they really look nice. And I will show you the sample card because it's already dry. But these are the liquid pearls, and I believe this is, color is Moonstone. It's in the description. But I always like to take a piece of scrap paper. And whenever I'm using any products like these, I like to start it first. Just to make sure. This one's a little bit clogged, so I have this little sewing pin, a little straight pin. I'm going to put it in here. And I'm going to show you how I store that straight pin. I have a little ball, a little ream or skein of twine, and I just stick it in there. That way I know exactly where it is at all times. All right, let's make sure this is coming out good. Okay, good. And then all I'm going to do is I'm just going to take this and add dots all around. Now, you could dot the cone flowers. I just am going to do the perimeter. And I'm just kind of randomly going around. Some are larger than others. It's okay. And then that's what you have. So they add a little, just a little something. But I think I'm done. I think we finished the card. So that is it. There's a lot going on, but it's kind of fun, I think. You know, I really liked using the scraps. I'm going to bring in my sample card. This one I did not do the matte layer, and I kind of like it. I think I might like it better without the matte layer, but I did the matte layer. Or you could make this a little smaller so it's not showing as much, but I kind of like the cleanness of this. Oh, hi, emailer. Good to see you again. Yeah, definitely watch the replay. I have to know how you did this. Yeah, you'll like it. We used a lot of scraps. You'll use up your scraps on this one. But yeah, this was the sample card, and you can see the pearls. They have a little pearlesque, pearlesque to them. Pearlescence. But that's it. That is the finished card tonight. So I want to thank you all for watching. And if you're watching the replay, thank you. If you're not a subscriber, hit that subscribe button and hit the notification so you don't miss the next video. And when we hit 5,000, my brother Jim will make a card. Be sure to check out the previous video of my brother Mike making a card to celebrate our 1,000 subscribers. That was a lot of fun. What else? Supplies are in the description, and there will be another video on Sunday. So what else? I wanted to tell you something else. And oh, tomorrow after YouTube processes the video, I will always, I put the pictures of the cards on my community tab of the YouTube channel, and I will pop another video at the end of this one, so you can watch that if you'd like. And that's it. Thank you all for joining. I enjoyed chatting with you all, and I hope to see you again next week. All right, bye-bye.